Hi again then guys, and so we've got another special projects replica build for you today, and this time it's a slightly different replica because the vehicle that we are building is not technically based on the vehicle that's actually in the game, but it's fairly close. It's about as close as we can currently get to it, and the vehicle is, as you'll have seen from the title of course, the Audi Q7 V12 TDi, which is the ultimate version of Audi's SUV. We don't have the Q7 in the game. We do, however, have the Pikes Peak Quattro, of course. And as it happens, you can actually make it very close to what a Q7 V12 TDi would be like if it were on the game. Not an exact replica, of course, but pretty close nonetheless. So, as far as the visuals, it's pretty simple. It's basically just painting it white and fitting these big, chunky 10-spoke rims, as you can see. And apart from that, there's really not much else I've done to it visually, so there's a lot of room for variation there. So, we'll go straight over to the mechanical garage for the tune setup, and then of course take it out to the track to see what it can do. Now, as far as the mechanical setup on this particular model, I've gone for sports soft tyres, because of course it is more of a street-based vehicle. As far as the suspension, we've got the ride height on 230 front and rear, springs to 7 on the front, 8 on the back, dampers to 3 all round and also anti-roll to 3, camber and tone neutral. We've left the brakes standard because, again, it's more of a street-based vehicle. For the diff, we've got the lowest initial torque to keep the handling fairly loose, acceleration on 30 on the front, 40 on the rear. For the braking, 20 front and rear. Torque split of 30-70. You could play around with that a bit more. You could go up to 50-50 or down to 10-90 even. I've left the clutch and prop shaft standard, again because it is more of a street vehicle. Now, as far as the power, obviously the actual car that we are replicating is a diesel, and diesels are known for very high torque at very low RPMs. They don't need to be hitting 7, 8, 9,000 RPM to be getting that power. So you want to basically fit everything that raises the RPM, but then restrict the engine down so that peak power comes at very low RPMs. So we've got the Stage 3 engine tune, the manifold, the cat, the intake tuning, and a low RPM turbo for that same reason, and then reduce the power right down to 496 horsepower, which is the actual power of the real Q7. You find different specs on different sites, but that's the general consensus. Now, unfortunately, we can't actually make this car as heavy as the real thing. It's 600 kilos lighter than it needs to be. The real car is 2.7 tons, and the highest you can get on the game is 2.1 with a ballast. But still, it's as close as we can get. And as you can see, that sits quite nicely at 505 pp. Now, as far as the gearbox, as with pretty much all of my replicas, I do try to find the real gear ratios if I can, and this one is running those. So you want the highest possible auto setting, then the individual gears are 4.15, 2.37, 1.56, 1.16, 0.86 and 0.69 with a final drive of 3.27. So that's it for the mechanical replica of the car overall. So now let's finally take it out to the track to see how it performs. Now, apart from the weight, this car does actually stay pretty faithful to the Q7 V12, although this car obviously came out before the Q7 V12, and it feels as a Q7 V12 should. The power and torque comes in at very low RPM. The sound of the car as well is actually pretty accurate to the real thing. It has that relatively deep bellow, not quite as deep and as gruff as the diesel of course, but about as close as we can get. Handling wise, it's a 2.1 ton SUV that is street spec, so it's not going to outmaneuver a GTR anytime soon, but it's certainly fun to drive. With nearly 500 horsepower, it's certainly no slouch. And for people who are, like me, massive fans of the Audi Q7 V12 TDi, I think you'll probably enjoy this replica of the car. And hopefully we'll see the car in the future, but for now this is as close as we can get. So, if you decide to use this replica, obviously I hope you find it fun and potentially competitive for racing. And if you're new to the channel and would like to keep up with other replicas like this as soon as they're released, be sure to hit subscribe down below, and as always, thanks for watching.